welcome back to FEHology, the study of Fire Emblem heroes. My name is Deku, and I will be your FEHologist for today. It's late February, and that means the season for Fallen Heroes has arrived. In preparation, I have theory-crafted 5 heroes who could possibly be on that banner. So please, join me in exploring the ideas of what might have been, so we can eventually be disappointed about what truly is, with my newest theory-crafted banner, Beyond Hope, featuring heroes from Fire Emblem 3 Houses, New Mystery of the Emblem, The Sacred Stones, and Awakening. Also, it's worth noting that the YouTube version of this has the images of the builds, so that would be my recommended way for listening to this episode. Though, I'm not going to try and stop you from listening to it audio only. Before we begin with the first hero, I will warn you that there are spoilers for 3 Houses in this one. As such, I've included a time in the description which I suggest you check out if you do not want to be spoiled. Though I do think this one is quite likely to show up in the near future. This hero is Marianne, victim of the curse. Many of Marianne's ancestors have been forced to give in to the curse of her crest, the crest of the beast. Forced to become bloodthirsty monsters without control over their own actions. Unfortunately, Marianne is doomed to a similar fate, though the strength of her bonds can help her keep it together. This version of Marianne, the first we'd have in the game, would be a red beast infantry unit, with the color reflecting the weapon linked to her crest, the Sword Blooddog. Is that pronounced right? I have no idea. Her stats are 44 HP, 31 attack, 40 speed, 18 defense, and 43 resistance, for a BST of 176. She has a super asset in speed and super flaws in attack, defense, and resistance. Her weapon may take a little bit of getting used to if you're familiar with beast units. After all, most beast units get more powerful when transformed. But that's not the case with Marianne. After all, transformation means she loses control. She begins to harm those around her. It is not her goal. As such, her weapon, the 16 Might Accursed Fang, grants a Spectrum plus 5 in-combat bonus during combat when she is not transformed. Alongside that, if she has combat adjacent to any allies that are not beasts or dragons, she gets Null Sea Disrupt as well. On the other hand, if she transforms, which she does via the same mechanism as every other beast unit, she deals 10 damage to any units, ally or foe, within 2 spaces of her after combat. The weapon also gives her an innate plus 3 to speed. To keep with the theme of staying near her allies, Marianne also has Speed Res Unity, a new skill to the game. To support her phenomenal resistance, she also comes with Iceberg and Close Call to not only keep her away from foes, but also patch up her bulk. She also has Threatened Speed Defense in the C slot. Also, it's worth noting that the art I use for her is fan art done by Unaluna Arts on DeviantArt. You can find them linked below. Our next unit will also have spoilers, this time from Mystery of the Emblem and its remake. Once again, the end of the spoiler discussion is in the description. This second unit is Nina, Captive Cleric. The Princess of Arcanea, as well as the woman who gifted Marth with the Fire Emblem shield, and the wife of Hardin, Nina is one of the most important political figures in Arcanea during the War of Shadows and the War of Heroes. However, despite that, she kept off the battlefield, up until it was no longer her choice to do so. The Shadow Dragon, Medius, knew he would need the blood of 4 noble maidens to return to his full power. And as such, he had Elise, Lena, Maria, and Nina kidnapped and brought to his sanctuary in Dollar, where they would complete the ritual and allow him to dominate the continent once more. This is a representation of Nina in that moment, held in mind control by servants of the Dragon Emperor. Her stats are 50 HP, 46 attack, 21 speed, 19 defense, and 41 resistance, with super asset in both HP and resistance, and no super flaws. Her weapon is the Sacrificial Staff. It doesn't provide a combat advantage. However, when she finds herself within 2 spaces of an ally with half health or lower at the start of her turn, that ally gains defense res plus 8, and is replenished by 10 HP. 10 HP that comes from Nina herself, as she is damaged by healing her allies. This is a reference to the final battle of New Mystery, where Medius can choose to eat one of his captives in order to gain a large chunk of his health back. To keep with the theme of giving her own lifeblood to keep her allies healthy, her assist skill is Martyr Plus. She also comes with a special of Earth Water Bomb Plus, which does overlap with her staff, but still allows her to help her allies survive better. Her A slot is Close Ward, to reflect both her high resistance and her relationship to dragons. Finally, she has Savage Blow 4, a new skill that I honestly just included as a joke. It deals 9 damage to foes within 2 spaces after combat. It also provides a -3/-3 debuff to their defense and resistance, similar to the dagger ability. This third unit, and another one I find likely to show up this year, is Crom, King of Despair. This shows Crom as he is in the Future Past timeline, having fallen at the hands of Grima and returned to the world of the living as a general of the Risen Army. He's a Lance Infantry unit with 29 HP, 45 attack, 44 speed, 38 defense, and 18 resistance. Super asset in speed and super flaw in attack. Notably, this puts him at the lowest HP in the game, beating out the previous low score champion of Elise, who had 30. Though that doesn't seem to be too much of an issue for him. His weapon is Despair's Lance, a 16 might personal weapon that provides 2 effects. First, a special cooldown of -1. Second, if he begins his turn with 1 HP, he gains a Spectrum buff of +5 and recovers 4 HP immediately. His special is also a personal skill called Undeath. It's really just Miracle, but with a cooldown of 4 instead of 5. He also has Brazen Speed Defense 4, a new skill, to support his low HP shenanigans, and Null Follow-Up to prevent his foes from doubling him, and possibly killing him while he's at 1 HP. His C slot is Time's Pulse, allowing for him to proc Undeath faster. As a whole, he's a very niche unit, but I had fun building him. This fourth one is once again pretty spoiler heavy, this time for Sacred Stones. So, as usual, description. This unit is Orson, ruled by Madness. A former paladin of Renee and a retainer to Prince Ephraim, his wife died tragically 6 months before the events of the game, and he had become quite different ever since. Despite his long history of service to Renee, when Prince Leon offered to resurrect his beloved wife Monica in exchange for his betrayal of Ephraim, he accepted, and left his prince to die at the hands of Grado's General Valter. Both he and his undead wife were later slain by Erica and Ephraim. He has 47 HP, 38 attack, 25 speed, 36 defense, and 21 resistance. He has 2 super assets in HP and speed. His weapon is the Rune Sword. It's very similar to the Rune Axe used by Narshan, as they are both based on the same base weapon from the GBA titles. Much like the Rune Axe, it allows him to recover 7 HP after any combat. From there, it differs to be more similar to its in-game counterpart. It gives Orson distant counter, and if the foe has 2 range, it has adaptive damage, like most breath weapons. His special is Moonbow, equally lowering both defense and resistance to keep working with the adaptive damage of his new weapon. Rally Up Defense Plus is the assist skill, and his A slot is Attack Defense Unity, referring to how his entire reason for turning to the darkness was for the love and bond he shared with his wife. Finally, he comes with Panic Smoke in the C slot. The last unit is the Grand Hero Battle unit for this banner, once again hailing from the continent of Arcanea. His Grand Hero Battle map would be based on Chapter 3X from New Mystery of the Emblem. This unit is Rise, Harmful Hero. Based on the infamous cipher card of a zombified, axe-wielding Rice, this humble curate has no time for healing his foes, only to bury them. He has 44 HP, 43 attack, 20 speed, 27 defense, and 43 resistance, with a super asset in resistance and super flaws in attack and defense. His weapon is the Vulnerary Axe. Despite being an axe fighter, he can't give up on all of his supportive tendencies. If he kills an enemy, then any allies within 2 spaces of him are healed by half the damage Rise dealt in that final blow. He also has Ardent Sacrifice and Breath of Life as extra healing skills. Finally, Sorcery Blade is in the A slot, since nobody uses it anyways, and it would still be cool for Rise to use magical damage on his axe. And that's it for this Theorycraft. So tell me what you think. Was Rise a little too much? Was Orson a little boring for your taste? Be sure to mention it to me either through our Twitter, our Discord, or the YouTube comments. All linked in the description below. You can also find direct contact methods for me and the other FEHologists in the description, so go check it out. If you're listening through the podcast, you might want to go support us on Anchor for as little as $1 a month. I hope you all enjoyed, and remember to schedule another appointment with your FEHologist soon. Goodbye.